trying to cast a game every day, and looks like we're going to get right into this one. Game number 2 between 4Nigmas and Morello and Crafty Bastards. Last game was taken by Crafty Bastards. Just kidding.
No, 4Nigma.
4Nigmas. They switched sides. I screwed up, guys.
Dude, come on. I'm on point for some reason. I'm not even in charge of this thing. What's going on?
Okay, so 4Nigmas and Morello with game number 1 victory. So we are here in game number 2. Of course, we've got Pythian, that's me, and Best Team Maker keeping us honest on the stream.
Hi there.
So, what was your favorite thing that happened last match?
Let's see. My favorite thing was just watching the Ursa go to town on everybody. I mean, well, actually, my favorite moment was that like 3-man finger in the fountain.
That was probably watching people get fingered.
I mean, it's not something that should be done, but I mean, when it happens, you just can't help but to just stare, you know, and just be in awe of the majesty of a 3-man finger.
I don't know if I can go on. That's pretty hot.
Any case,
I've never seen that before.
OD bands.
5 seconds.
An OD. OD is falling out of this last patch recent, hasn't it?
Yeah, with the changes to the arcane orb, I mean, you have to really get a lot of levels and intelligence on him to do anything. I mean, the change to intelligence does help him a little bit, since if you get your intelligence to a certain point, it gives you more damage, but it's not enough for OD at all.
They banned out the Omni Knight too. They don't want that healing and repel to be a thing. Meanwhile, 4Nigma bans out the Spectre and the Invoker. I mean, was the Spectre really a factor in that last game?
No, not at all. Although the Spectre did do kind of okay. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I felt like it just didn't have the impact, even with the Radiance. And the Radiance was crap. Lord Crafty got that Radiance pretty darn late.
Well, I think it was kind of quickly considering the terrible start that he had, but yeah, I agree. The Spectre wasn't really a factor in the last match.
Alright, here we go. Everyone's favorite Earth Spirit.
Let's see if the Earth Spirit has this just brokenness that Crafty Bastards need to get back into this best of 2.
Can I even use the Earth Spirit? I mean, I know people are new in this game, so...
You know, I would expect so. But, I mean, you never know with these guys. I have seen some Earth Spirits do well in these matches, and it's been a pretty scary hero for quite a while. Interesting here, the Timbersaw picked up by 4Nigmas.
Choosing the Timbersaw into it or Earth Spirit?
I don't think it's necessarily bad. Although there are a lot of things that the Earth Spirit can do to screw with the Timbersaw, I don't think that the control is going to be long enough to actually take him out, though.
Timbersaw is always fun to watch. I mean, I'm guessing this is going to be Capitard's character, considering how well he did on the Earths. Or, you know, who played the Queen of Pain last game? Do you remember?
I have no idea. I don't remember who plays what hero.
Perfect. I'm just waiting for the second pick here coming out from 4Nigma. Hopefully something that can work well against the Earth Spirit. Alright, they're going to go with their tried and true Lion. The Lion did fantastic last game. I don't see why they shouldn't choose it again this game.
You guys are so cool. Making me type in the chat on my phone, because I'm only on one monitor right now, so I have to read the chat off of my phone and then type it in on there in order to respond to you guys. I should probably focus on looking at what's actually happening in the draft. 4Nigmas do have their Lion backup, which is, I
Crystal
think,
Maiden
pretty
getting
scary.
picked up.
Yeah, Crystal Maiden. So Earth Spirit, Crystal Maiden, an interesting combo right there. That's a lot of control that Crafty Bastards have, lots of stuns and stuff like that. There's also the aura from Crystal Maiden that is going to help the Earth Spirit out with some of his mana problems in the early game.
So are these two gonna probably be roaming around a lot, or probably stay together in the tri-lane?
What was that?
Are we gonna see the Earth Spirit and the Crystal Maiden paired up with each other throughout most of the game then? Like in the laning phase, are we gonna see them roaming around, or are we gonna see them in like a tri-lane with a carry?
To be quite honest, I wouldn't really ship that at all. Earth Spirit and Crystal Maiden aren't really a good match. They're really not each other's type. Like, Crystal Maiden's all about ice, and Earth Spirit, it's about rocks and shit. I mean, it's not that good.
Combat-wise, how do you think of that the combination of the two?
They pair up pretty well. I mean, if we're not shipping them or anything, I think they've got a lot of stuns and slows that are really good at killing shit. And if you can kill stuff, then you can win.
I mean, well, I'm wondering like, if they're gonna be able to control the lion, because like last game they didn't really have that many disables going for them. They had the coconut from the witch doctor, but there's the Ursa ban.
It's definitely a smart ban. Crafty Bastards really had no idea how to play against that, and I agree it can be really difficult, especially when there's a lion setting things up. But if you don't know how to play against an Ursa, I mean, it is a thing you need to learn how to do. Like, Ursa can do, especially with the changes to him, he's a very strong hero. I'm actually a little bit surprised we don't see him more in this league. But if you just let him be played the way he was in the last match, things are going to be really difficult for you. You just have to work with what you have. Kite the Ursa, make sure he can't hit you, and things are a lot easier. Actually, one of the things that I hated against an Ursa, like playing as an Ursa against an Invoker, sucked. That was very difficult and really annoying, and I'm glad that Invoker is not as good as he used to be.
Do I have to restart my entire game now?
Oh my gosh, are you having problems? Are you trying to play on a potato? That doesn't work.
No, I'm done.
So, the Queen of Pain was played in the mid lane last game for 4Nigmas. Now they have the Zeus. It's a little bit of a different hero. They ban out the Viper before picking it, so they ban out a pretty major counter to him.
Reserve time.
Zeus mid. What do you think about Zeus mid in this patch?
I want to say it's fine, and I would definitely say that it's fine in this kind of game where the MMRs are pretty low.
No, what would the Zeus have to be careful of in this case?
What would a Zeus have to be careful of? The Earth Spirit just rolling in and shooting him up in a drive-by? So
are we gonna see Lion help out Zeus in the mid lane then? Or
no, not at all.
Oh.
The Zeus is on his own.
Alright, and what about Medusa? Okay, I'm gonna Medusa pick up from the Crafty Bastards. Mid Medusa?
Medusa in the mid lane is actually so scary because the way that Mystic Snake works, it does more damage to the successive targets. So it's actually a pretty potent nuke, and if the Zeus is any like distance close to the creep wave, he's gonna get hit with that snake. And if she gets that up to level 4, that's basically about depending on what the Zeus does, I would say it's about half his health, or close to, with one snake. That's broken. That's ridiculous. I hate having to deal with that.
In any case, the Elder Titan picked up by 4Nigma and Tiny picked up by Crafty Bastards.
We saw Elder Titan today for Fnatic. I'm sorry, OG.
10 seconds to go.
Sorry, that was a joke that nobody got, probably.
Nope.
OG are really the ones who brought Elder Titan to the forefront. They really like the hero, and I think that if players were a little bit more experienced with him and also playing with him, we would see the Elder Titan picked up a lot more. I think this hero is extremely strong, but it's very difficult to play, and it's also difficult for other people to play around you with it. But I think the hero itself is extremely strong, and playing it with a couple of the heroes that are on the Radiant, I mean, that there's some big damage potential here, and the Elder Titan only increases that.
I was always confused about the Echo Stun, like how it puts people to sleep instead of like, why doesn't it just stun them? It's like ZZ it puts them to sleep.
Well, let's read the ability. So it says the force of creation still echoes in the stomp of the Titan. So it's kind of like he stomps, and then everybody waits to be created again.
10.
So it's like he has to fix everything by stomping. He's like, fuck this! And then he stomps his foot, and then everything gets fixed, somewhat.
Alright, so look at these two lineups right now. What are the last pick heroes you'd want for either team?
I think 4Nigmas are fine. They can go with 4 heroes. They don't need a 5th one. They look fine to me. For Crafty Bastards, I think they definitely need an offlaner. I think Tidehunter would go with their nice green theme-ish. I think Tidehunter would be nice. Yeah, they have a green theme here.
5 seconds.
But Tidehunter, just for the Ravage, give them... Oh, they're going to go with the Lina.
I think Tidehunter would have been a lot better.
So wait,
although Lina is hot.
Tiny? Or offlane Lina?
You could put like Earth Spirit in the offlane. I think I think Crafty Bastards are still gonna go with the dual lanes though.
Seconds to go.
Interesting. I'm curious to see how they're gonna be laning out these heroes. I don't really know what they're gonna really do.
I recall in the last game that they put the Lone Druid and the Skywrath together in the offlane, so I feel like they're gonna go with some similar setup here.
The Leshrac final pick from 4Nigmas, gonna put them on lock there.
So the thing that I immediately see about 4Nigmas, they're really heavily reliant on magic damage, and I mean that is a lot of massive damage coming out. They want to try to get through that Mystic shield or the mana shield of the Medusa as fast as possible. When the Lion can help with that, you can mana drain her and do a lot of work. But I mean, if there are BKBs up at all for Crafty Bastards, then I would see the first one probably coming out from the Tiny, even though their lineup isn't really known for building BKBs. I mean, the Medusa really never wants to go for one. The Earth Spirit you wouldn't see. Maybe the Lina could, but the Tiny has a couple of items before he wants to go for that BKB. So I think this lineup might be okay with the heroes that Crafty Bastards have picked. But still, it is a heavily magic damage focused lineup.
I wonder, because like, well, in any case, we're just going to wait for the Lina to connect here, coming out from Crafty Bastards. Just want to take a look, see who's on here. At the moment, yeah, Capitario is going to be on the Timbersaw.
You want to hear a creepy Timbersaw line?
Sure. I'd love to hear a creepy Timbersaw.
But I can give you the link.
Oh well.
Because I'm playing it for the stream.
That's disappointing.
If I can find it.
All right, here we go. Game number 2 now underway here. 4Nigmas up 1-0.
Oh,
Ignore that scoreboard is
Someone once
wrong,
told me I needed to face fear to get over it, and I thought, well, why not take a step further and cut my fear into little pieces, then set my fear on fire, then throw the hot ash off my fear into a lake, and then poison
right now.
the lake. Simple.
So that was a creepy Timbersaw line.
Anyways, 5-man smoke coming out for 4Nigmas. Scoreboard's a little wonky right now. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know how to fix it.
It's your fault, probably.
Thank you.
So I just linked it in the chat. You can use that.
All right, I'll look at it later. Anyways, 4Nigma going for the 5-man smoke here, but Crafty Bastards, they just made their way down on the 5-man smoke to bottom lane.
Counter
So-
5-man smoke.
Not going to find each other in this case.
There's a nice pool camp blocking ward there. Used by the Dire. So they're going to get a little bit of vision here along with the pool camp being blocked. And they're
Ooh.
also going to get the bottom rune here.
All right. The Leshrac pick coming.
Ready.
What do you think of the Leshrac pick coming out from 4Nigma? How does that help their lineup?
Well, their lineup is basically all like massive magic damage. And actually, I think they just picked it for the set that he has. I have not seen this set before.
That is a pretty rad set he has. Look at that helmet, man.
It's ridiculous. So he's going to make the long trek over to the bottom lane. They're just going to focus on getting him as much farm on him as possible. I mean, it's definitely a viable pickup with the changes to the Bloodstone that Leshrac could go for. I remember back in the day was, oh my god, this Zeus has a taunt. But I remember the build used to be like Yule's Scepter, Octarine Core, or something like that. Just go for the big mana items early. And Leshrac just got so difficult to take down if you went for those items.
All right. So Zeus versus Medusa. What do you think about this matchup here in the mid lane?
Well, like I said, once Medusa gets those levels up, she's really just focused on not dying. So the Zeus, I think, is just going to go for the farm and then hope that the Medusa doesn't get too much of her own. But right now he is at 5-0 and she's at 4, so he's doing pretty well with the last hits. He just needs to make sure that he's not in range for those Mystic Snapes jumping around. Leshrac not doing so well on this bottom lane so far. And he does have to be a little bit far away. He's gone for the Earth Spike over the
top lane right now.
Is it going to be the Timbersaw just going insane? He's taking a lot of damage from the tower. And the Earth Shake, the Elder Titan's also gone in there. Oh no, look at the big damage!
Tiny just ran right into the Timbersaw. And Timbersaw just said, hello there. I'm going to say hi with my whirling death.
That's quite a hello there. Crystal Maiden also helped find the kill onto the Elder Titan under the tower, who is taking a lot of harass from it, so maybe not the best management of the aggro there. But yeah, the Elder Titan and Timbersaw combo. This is slightly dirty.
Alright.
Because the Timbersaw already has high damage potential with the Timber Chain as well as the Whirling Death. And you can definitely utilize that against oh my gosh, Lina almost going down on that top lane, and the Leshrac will get a kill with that last hit. Oh,
I mean, never mind the almost. 4Nigma is picking up the lead once more. 2 kills on the board right now. And both given to the cores,
gosh, look
too.
at this. Tiny is getting absolutely wrecked by this Timber Chain. Timbersaw does have to be careful with his mana, but he's going to go through again, and he will get taken down on the top lane. Just way too aggressive without the Elder Titan. So what the Elder Titan does is he decreases your resistances so that your stuff does a lot of damage. And Timbersaw already does a lot with his skills. It's just, oh man, that Dragon Slave just missing the line, and he's already very low. But the Timbersaw kind of overestimating his damage there once the Elder Titan had left the lane. Look at him. I mean, this Timbersaw is not scared of the Tiny at all. Timbersaw has another chain in a couple seconds, as well as a Whirling Death, and he's going to Timber Chain away. He really needs some mana regen here, like a Soul Ring or Arcane Boots or something.
I think they're trying to look for some sort of catcher on the bottom lane. The Elder Titan just sitting around there, deaf, pinging around this river.
Yes, Elder Titan could come in from behind. He's got the Spirit available, as well as the Echo Stomp. I believe Lina has seen him. He just walked past that threshold a little bit.
I think it's interesting because like now the Earth Spirit's also rotated up to the top lane as well. I think they want to get a kill onto the Timbersaw.
Well, Timbersaw has already shown that he's pretty aggressive. Stunner's going to come through as well as a roll. We talked about this combo earlier. Here comes the Crystal Maiden. Timber Chain is going to miss, and there is going to be the Avalanche. Call that a dead little man as the Timbersaw goes down. The help from the Elder Titan a little bit too late.
Yeah, the Timbersaw, Capitard playing pretty aggressively with the Timbersaw. I mean, he has a point in reactive armor, but it's not really doing much.
Yeah, he's got that point, and he's already gone down twice. Elder Titan's going to find a haste rune. He's going to put the hurt onto the Tiny. Tiny has enough mana for an avalanche if he needs it, and he could just be baiting that Tiny. And Elder Titan, here they go. They're just doing the tete here, and Elder Titan will get the staple gun into the back. Or some people call it a briefcase. They just call it a massive staple gun. As the Tiny will go down. Just this top lane for both teams is really a disaster zone.
And all the meanwhile, Zeus and Medusa both just trading farm here in the mid lane. Nothing really much happened between the two of them.
Yeah, Zeus and Medusa trying to get as much farm as possible. Medusa has gone for a lot of denies, and in terms of the XP, Medusa is already at level 6 now and hasn't gone for a level into the Stone Gaze, which is probably fine if she doesn't anticipate any rotations coming in by the supports of 4Enigmas. And at this point, I really don't think that's gonna happen with the Elder Titan hanging around top and lying around bottom.
I mean, I think just getting that extra point in Mystic Snake helps a lot.
I mean, we talked about how beneficial it is to put more points into Mystic Snake. I think at this point it's more the points into Mana Shield. Not really sure why she has it on all the time, but she will go for the Stone Gaze now and not get the last point into Mystic Snake.
My question, okay, so here's the question: like, why do you think Crafty Bastards chose Tiny as their carry safe lane, their safe lane carry? Like, what does it offer in this lineup?
So you want to know why they chose Tiny for their carry?
Like, what do you think this this Tiny could offer? Because usually whenever I see a Tiny, he usually has some sort of like support that's always around to take care of him. Usually the Wisp is like the more well-known combination. Like Crystal Maiden Tiny, is that like a common combination usually seen?
I mean, you do have 2 stuns there as well to throw. Tiny's pretty much used for his high damage early in the game, and when you get the Ags and the grow up, it makes it increase a lot more. So I mean, Tiny's still a strong hero, and it doesn't really matter that he's comboed up with the Crystal Man. He's still very good. My only problem with him here is that he's not really noted for being a BKB builder, which I think is extremely strong against the 4Enigmas lineup. And I just think that he's going to get kited a little bit much here.
Some connection issues from Crafty Bastards for the time being. But what do you think about these lanes? Like, how are they shaping up for you right now? Is either side gaining an advantage or something that a team should be doing better? Ooh. Medusa's reconnected.
Right now, I think that it's just a ticking time bomb for 4Enigmas. They clearly have the mid-game advantage, and once they get their levels up, they're going to be a pretty formidable force and very difficult for Crafty Bastards to deal with. I think these supports are just going to get absolutely blown up, and it's going to be a Tiny and a Medusa left against the world, and I don't think they're going to stand for that long, especially with this Timbersaw doing all the damage, and there's going to be an Echo Slam or Stomp onto the top lane, and one more Timber Chain. It's not going to connect onto the Tiny. Tiny trying to bottle up underneath the tower. He's got a throw available. It's going to go onto the Timbersaw. Timbersaw is going to once again Timber Chain through, and they are chasing down this Tiny, but the Timbersaw way too aggressive. Dragon Slave comes through by the Luna. She's going to miss that LSA onto the Elder Titan. The Elder Titan will get away. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, the Medusa will get a little bit of help from the Earth Spirit to take down the Zeus.
All right, here we go. Crafty Bastards now putting themselves ahead 5-3 right now.
Oh, there's going to be another roll onto the Elder Titan, who will stomp onto the Earth Spirit. And notice how the 0.8 second difference between being allowed to hit people after the stomping is just going to juke around here. Another roll available and a stun available from the Earth Spirit. One stun and a hit from the Lina is going to make the Elder Titan go down. I'm not really sure what he was doing there. But the Zeus is here. He's going to find the Medusa over. The Split Earth is going to miss from the Leshrac. So this Medusa is going to continue to get away. She was very low on mana. And look at this line. He's being so aggressive. I think 4Enigmas are a little bit still in terms of their last victory, which was very massive, and they're just trying to go ham against Crafty Bastards, not respecting them at all.
Yeah, but I feel like the Timbersaw probably really should be more careful because he's getting caught out a lot in these engagements.
I mean, yeah, he's got to be careful. What was the Timbersaw on last match? Was he actually?
He was the Ursa, yeah,
he was
Capitard.
the Ursa. So he's still used to just going right into the enemy team and not really caring about his health too much. But the thing is, he doesn't have as much help from his team this time, and things aren't working as well for him as they used to be.
There we go.
Tiny's getting okay-ish farm here. He's currently 21 last hits at power treads. And the Leshrac is rotating around that map. He's got his arcane boots, but I don't think in arcane boots Leshrac is very scary. And he's also gone for the Pulse Nova level, which sometimes you'll see Leshrac players tend to skip. Now there's going to be a stomp forward onto the Medusa, but look how little damage this Zeus is doing. Like, that's a level 1 lightning bolt that he chose to woke up the Medusa with.
Well, I'm still kind of surprised they didn't actually go in with Medusa because the Leshrac was also waiting up top here as well, but I guess they just didn't want to commit for this one. Just push the Medusa out was probably what they wanted to do.
Lion has been left alone on this bottom lane. It's interesting choice by 4Enigmas. Sometimes what you want to do is you want to leave the supports alone in a lane to just get them a couple levels. Meanwhile, hold that thought. There's going to be a stomp onto the top lane with the Chakram doing quite a bit of damage to the CM. She's at only 288 health right now. She does need to be a bit careful. With that little bit of XP help, Lion has made it halfway through level 5 and almost out of that finger of death.
Oh, if she walked around that corner, that Elder Titan would have probably have a field day with her. But just puts down the ward there. Although it looks like it's in the. Oh no, that's an observer's. Okay. It looks like a sentry for a second.
Yeah, Medusa just continues to hold strong on that mid lane. We're 10 minutes in. She's only got 36 last hits, so not really as the best as she could do. But she does have the poor man shield up, and just look at the amount of damage that she does to the Zeus with the level 4 Mystic Snake. Haste Rune popped on the Earth Spirit. I believe that they scouted him out with that nice observer ward at the rune spot right here. So they knew there was a haste rune. The Zeus is just going to back up, very scared of this Earth Spirit. And once again, they do scout him out with that observer ward. Saw him going back towards the bottom lane. Timbersaw getting aggressive onto the Zeus. They will end up cleaning, or sorry, the Tiny. Tiny's going to get cleaned up. Now here comes a freezing field from the Crystal Maiden. LSA is going to miss from the Lina. Lightstriker Ray, or sorry, the Laguna Blade. Man, I'm just calling all the wrong spells out here, as the Lina will go down. Does take the Timbersaw out with her.
Yeah, they actually just traded their 1-for-1.
Stun comes through by the Earth Spirit, misses it onto the Elder Titan, and Elder Titan being a little bit elusive here. He wants to be careful, but here comes the Medusa. It was a little bit too cheeky, and Elder Titan trying to make his way out of this. The Medusa is so fast. He gets the stomp off. He's going to make the Medusa go to sleep, and it's the Crystal Maiden. Look at those last hits. Enough, but here they are. Caught on a choke point. Double Split Earth comes through by the Leshrac, and they will get the kill on the Crystal Maiden. Now here comes the Stone Gaze. They are not going to look at this Medusa. On the backside, Lion trying to chase down the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit very low. Tiny will find a kill onto the Zeus on the backside of this, though. And here comes the Timbersaw. This man is scared. He is running for his life, but he's going to go right for the Medusa. Chakram will finish her off. On the backside of this, the Lion did end up taking the Earth Spirit, so in the end, it turns out to be a big advantage going the way of 4Enigmas.
And 4Enigma get a pretty okay gold exchange there, though. And I'm just wondering if they probably dove like really deep for the Elder Titan. The Elder Titan, they missed the kick, and they still want to go for it, but because of that, they got themselves trapped in the stairways. The stairway up there, and just allow the rest of the team to just fold in all around them.
Yeah, there were a couple of heroes like standing around the ramp, and the Elder Titan just stood there. The Crystal Maiden finds the last hit, but then you had 3 heroes just caught out on that stairs, and 2 of them get hit with a stun.
Just continue doing whatever it
Okay.
was you were doing.
I feel like after that first Echo Stomp, probably just back out for the time being. But they were thirsty for the kill, looks like.
Yeah, they were very thirsty. Tiny's still trying to make his way through the levels. He's gone for 1 level into the growth, so he's at 3-4 right now on the Avalanche and Throw. Earth Spirit does have the Magnetize, and that's sometimes where people say that his impact kind of goes off, and this line is alone on this bottom lane. He does need to be careful, because Tiny can come in at, Earth Spirit can come in at any time, and this pesky range creep is going to scout out the Earth Spirit. I just hate how these things work sometimes.
Oh.
Split Earth is going to miss onto the Crystal Maiden, and the Lightning Bolt will finish her off. Elder Titan, he's going to look away from the Medusa. He's going to get the Echo Stomp put on the cooldown, and the Dragon Slave to the face is going to finish him off. So at least they get a kill on the back of that one. Elder Titan for a Crystal Maiden.
That's a pretty equal exchange, support for support.
The build on the Elder Titan, he's currently gone for a 2-2-1 build. That's kind of weird. I would really support, especially since the Elder Titan is being played in a support role, I would really advocate going for a lot of levels into the natural order, just because you're not going to be getting a lot of levels on the map, and your team really picked you for the natural order. Like, this spell, it gives you like 33% base resist reduction at level 4. That's pretty ridiculous, especially for a magic-based team. We can take a quick look at the XP and net worth graphs right here. Is Crafty Bastards, they're doing a little bit better in this match than in the last one. I guess you could possibly chalk up last match to an outpick, but we'll just see how this one turns out. As they are doing better for now, but we'll see if that continues. And once again, the range creep catches out the Earth Spirit on the bottom lane. This guy is probably the MVP right now, as he will keep the Lion safe.
I mean, they are worth more gold now, but the kid comes in right on top of the Lion.
Is going to hit, and the Lina doesn't even have to try for that one. Earth Spirit gets the kill, but the Stomp did go out onto the Earth Spirit, who's just going to sit around the tower a little bit longer. Chakram comes through, it will finish him up. LSA is going to only hit onto the Elder Titan, and now the Timbersaw trying to chase down the Lina. For some reason, the Split Earth comes through by the Leshrac, and it's not even going to be close. The throw will come through, and the Leshrac goes down to the Tiny. Look at that Stone Gaze, though, to Elder Titan. He does put that ultimate down, and the Medusa will just run right forward. Who's behind the tower? It is Timbersaw.
Timbersaw trying his best to get away. He was trying to go for the Lina, but the rest of the team were there for support. And now is doing his best just to get away. Throwing out the Chakram, freeze heal coming out. And
they are going into the choke point right now. And the Lina goes forward, absolutely wrecked by the Lightning Bolt. Hello, sir. But here comes the tanky members. Timbersaw is going to watch his friend Zeus die. There's going to be a TP in by the Elder Titan. He puts down the Spirit. He will hit the Stomp onto both the Tiny and the Medusa. Medusa now trying to desperately run away from the Elder Titan. And this is a very long fight. It started at the bottom lane, but now it's gone over to mid. We've got the Lion trying to chase down the Earth Spirit, and now Lion still has that finger available for Medusa. Stomp, ready, it goes through onto Medusa. Lion has no more mana for this one, but it doesn't matter. They will have enough damage to get an ultra kill for the Timbersaw.
I have no idea what was going on there. It looks like Crafty Bastards were actually able to disengage in time, but they just kept on chasing after the Timbersaw. And the Timbersaw just instantly turned around as soon as the Zeus came in. Zeus unfortunately sacrificed his life for the kill, but the rest of the team just cleaned up.
Going to find the Lina at bottom. One more lightning strike is going to finish off the Lina. So the Leshrac will find a kill onto her with a creative usage of the Split Earth and the Pulse Nova, even though he was on fairly low health.
I'm not really sure who's really coming out on top of these fights right now. 4Nigma, every time they seem to be down a couple people, they just turn right back and get some kills of their own.
So one thing to remember with these fights is you can always use the fight recap to kind of check who's...
Oh yeah, I know.
Who's like getting an advantage, and Tiny doesn't end up taking the Elder Titan elsewhere on the map. But In these fights, the Dire have had a higher net worth than the Radiant, so whenever the Radiant get a kill, the bonus for them is a little bit higher. And in the last fight, there was a 2,000 gold change going the way of 4Nigmas. Lion has to be very careful. He's at 400 health right now, healing up with the Tranquil's regen. He's trying to bait against this Medusa. Medusa has a Stone Gaze available, and it's only Elder Titan. Here comes a Stomp. It's going to be there, but the Lion was stunned up underneath the tower. Very low. One more hit will do it. And the Earth Spirit, he tries to figure out who he's going to hit. He finds him. He kills the Lion. And now the Medusa uses the Stone Gaze onto the Elder Titan Courier. Little Nova comes in and delivers something to the... I believe the Earth Spirit. I think that was probably just words coming in or something. Very innocuous. But in the end, it is going to be a double kill for... Oh my gosh. People going down in the mid lane too, as the Timbersaw finds the kill onto the Tiny, who was wreaking havoc. Did end up taking down the Leshrac. It's a very spread out game right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep track of what's happening so far. What's this Leshrac building right now? He has the Vit booster and the point booster right now.
Well, it could be either the Bloodstone or an Octarine Core. I did say earlier that Octarine Core is kind of the build for a while on Leshrac. Especially when the item first came out, it made him very tanky, and then the item kind of got nerfed a little bit, which kind of ended his reign. It's a big ultimate by the Elder Titan, and a lot of damage out onto the Dire. Lina trying to make her way out on the backside of this. Lion gets killed by a neutral creep, and Medusa just trying to wrap her way around the trees, trying to get trigger the Timbersaw. Now she uses the Stone Gaze, and the Timbersaw, it's time for him to get out. Stomp goes through on the Medusa. She's in the middle of no man's land on the Radiant side. I guess that's not really no man's land. Then Veil comes through by the Zeus. Very good pickup by him. But this Medusa running for her life. She's going to have no help, but this Timbersaw, he's basically out of mana. There's going to be an Echo Stomp. The Chakram will miss. Now she uses the Stone Gaze, and the Timbersaw, it's time for him to get out. Stomp goes through on the Medusa. She's in the middle of no man's land on the Radiant side. I guess that's not really no man's land. Then Veil comes through by the Zeus. Very good pickup by him. But this Medusa running for her life. She's going to have no help, but this Timbersaw, he's basically out of mana. There's going to be an Echo Stomp. The Chakram will miss. Now this Timbersaw, he is going to regen with that Bloodstone. Medusa trying to make her way out of this one. Timber Chain is available. Here comes the Chakram, and it will finish her off. Medusa goes down.
Very close, especially with the TPs coming in as well. But that was still quite a chase there.
Yeah, it was quite a change. I mean, it basically happened that the Medusa made her way all the way over here and ran it over to the mid lane. That was quite a long run that she made there.
Alright. This is a much closer game than the last one, I have to say.
Yeah.
Oh, Lina trying to pick up on the Lion, but misses it. Gonna back out for the time being as Leshrac makes his way into it.
Something pretty quiet. The Lion, the Tiny's currently 9-5-2. He's got his Blink Dagger, which is helping him to get a bunch of kills all over the map, and he's got a couple stacks now in the jungle to help him get a little bit more gold. He's probably going to be working towards an Aghanim Scepter, although that here on the bottom lane. Stun goes through on the Leshrac, and he just did not care about this Medusa at all. And now this Lion could be in trouble. He's running to the north, but that is the wrong way, son. Here comes the Tiny. He says, "Welcome home, buddy."
Just an avalanche, a toss, and he's done for. Lina putting down the leg strike array just for good measure.
Timbersaw has gotten into the Blade Mail, so really the high net worth for 4Nigmas. I mean, he's a Timbersaw. He doesn't have the most physical damage, but is not someone you just can forget about. He's got 15 Bloodstone charges and a Blade Mail. If you don't play him the right way, he can do quite a bit of damage to your team, especially with his innate tankiness. Elder Titan also alone on that top lane. We'll need to be careful from this onslaught of the Lina and Earth Spirit. And Zeus continues to just try to get some farm and some levels mid. Careful from this onslaught of the Lina and Earth Spirit. And Zeus continues to just try to get some farm and some levels mid. Dire see him though, and they may decide to go make a push for him. Medusa currently at a Yasha and Ring of Aquila.
Dire's middle tower
Things
is
are
being
calming
attacked.
down slightly here. But Medusa, or sorry, the Zeus could get caught out. He's not been spotted. He's not been spotted at all, and the Tiny's just going to blink over to the mid lane. The Lina, though, she's going to get spotted out by this Radiant Observer. And there's the Lightning Bolt right there. It's going to catch her out. Here comes a Veil. And Zeus, he's got the Lightning. Yeah, that ultimate is going to clean up the Lina. Now down for 40 seconds. She is not going to like that at all.
Meanwhile, Timbersaw finds the Medusa, but Medusa just quickly gets out, activates a Stone Gaze to make sure that she can get out safely. And Kapitar tries to stick around to pick up that last Ancient, and Popo going in for the revenge.
Under attack.
He has the Blade Mail activated, but he is pretty darn low on health. He is able to get the Timber Chain away. Goes for the TP. Can they find him? No! They get the blink in the wrong direction.
Tower is under attack.
And he gets away safely.
That was so weird. Yeah, the Timbersaw just gets out of vision of that, and then he's able to TP away with the Tiny just blinking way too far.
Radiant's top
Oh man,
tower has been
that's really unfortunate too. The Timbersaw right in your grasp, and he just gets away.
He would also respawn pretty quickly, so 15 charges on that Bloodstone. He's just going to throw out that Chakra, and it doesn't really matter on the bottom lane. It's going to be a snake going through, and he pops that Blade Mail perhaps a little bit early. Just trying to do enough damage to this bottom lane to force back the Dire. And he's going to Timber Chain forward, ready to go on to Fam. Crystal Maiden trying to back up here. Got those Tranquil Boots going, but here's big old Timbersaw. He's going to put the Whirling Death. She's not even doing anything, not even attempting to slow him down. Now there's going to be the Frostbite there, and Timbersaw is going to get the rocks thrown at him in the face. Couple of lightning go through. Zeus going to add to the lightning. This Lion completely misses the Earth Spike, and there's also going to be an Elder Titan ultimate doing a lot of damage to this Crystal Maiden. They'll finger her. They've wanted her down. This is basically a game of just long chases. Waves, but they're going to rely mostly on the creeps to do the damage here. LSA is going to miss by the Lina. So, really, and you kind of see that reflected here. Tiny's going to jump in, get a lot of damage onto the Elder Titan, but not quite taken down. There's going to be a nice split Earth as Lina's just going to completely wreck the Leshrac with that Laguna Blade. Now Medusa with the double damage range. She's looking for the Zeus. I think she may have missed him. But she's just going to keep trucking on forward, looking for the Elder Titan. Elder Titan, he's going to the trees. Toss in Cardi. Here you go, buddy. There's some more rocks for you, too. Medusa's also going to pop the Stone Gaze, taking a lot of damage underneath the tower. There's going to be a stun flying through. Timbersaw's going to narrowly miss it. And that's going to be another Stone Gaze wasted by the Medusa. Crafty Bastards, though, they're looking pretty good to take this bottom tower. As this double damage rune still has quite, going to keep trucking on forward, looking for the Elder Titan. Elder Titan, he's going to the trees. Toss in Cardi. Here you go, buddy. There's some more rocks for you, too. Medusa's also going to pop the Stone Gaze, taking a lot of damage underneath the tower. There's going to be a stun flying through. Timbersaw's going to narrowly miss it. And that's going to be another Stone Gaze wasted by the Medusa. Crafty Bastards, though, they're looking pretty good to take this bottom tower. As this double damage rune still has quite a bit of duration left on the Medusa. But we talked about clearing the creep waves, and this Timbersaw continues to do just that. And he'll take all those creeps away from the Dire, forcing them back in that bottom lane.
Do Crafty Bastards have a good Roche lineup?
Not particularly. It still takes them quite a while. They don't have any minus armor. Timbersaw's going to find the Medusa. Medusa's going to get thrown up in the air. Tiny's taking a lot of damage from the Timbersaw, and the Zeus is going to do all of the damage with the Lightning Strike. Laguna Blade is going to finish off the Timbersaw, but Earth Spirit is going to get taken out by Zeus. Now there's going to be the Spirit right on to Fam. Fam trying to make it its way out of this one. There is a Stomp available. Stomp is not going to be in range, though. And Medusa just going to sit right on top of that high ground. Lion uses the stun, and now it's only one Medusa left. There's going to be a Frostbite onto Lion. Lion very low. Don't want to go in on it just yet, and that Spirit is once again up for the Elder Titan. So a couple of things going on there, but no kills. Yeah, Crafty Bastards don't really have the best Roche-taking lineup. They don't have any minus armor to their name. They're just very tanky. So if they do take a Roshan, it's going to be very slow, but they're a little bit better at doing it than the Radiant side.
All right, so Medusa, she has her Manta style up. What would Medusa start to build into next at this point in the game?
I think she just really needs to get tanky. I would probably say that a Scotty would be good. Because it's all magic damage that she's going to be doing. Actually, I wouldn't even mind if someone on our team got a Pipe of Insight. That would probably help them out quite a bit. Since pretty much everything that the Radiant do is magic damage. But here they go slithering up to the high ground looking for a Lion. I'm not sure if they had any vision of this. They are going to smoke. And... you know, the Radiant could have possibly seen that smoke with that observer ward that they had.
I think they smoked on the observer ward there. But they may find the Medusa. And Timbersaw going in. He has a Timber Chain. Trying to catch up to them right now. And Crafty Bastards just doing their best to get out of this situation right now. Activates its Stone Gaze. Blade Mail pops up, though, on top of the Timbersaw.
Blade Mail on the Timbersaw. They're going to be kept there for a couple more seconds. Leshrac is going to end up finishing off the Medusa with a couple of lightning strikes, and that line did get absolutely blown up. The Light Striker is going to completely miss, and this Lina is going to get slowed down by those lightnings. Dual Scepters up the Timbersaw into the air. He's going to get held there for a couple more seconds, but he's got the mobility. Nice double Light Striker raid by the Lina. Could possibly get her out of this one, and that Timber Chain is going to miss by the Timbersaw. Big kill, though, for the Medusa going down.
I think the Blade Mail, like, basically saved his life there. The Timbersaw. And they were just able to get the return onto her.
Tiny has finished off the Aghanim Scepter, so that's going to be a pretty big increase to his damage. I would probably think that he's going to go for an Echo Saber sometime soon. And possibly a BKB. So that's really not ever an optimal build for a Tiny. If you have to go BKB on a Tiny, then I mean, there's got to be a good reason for it, and there definitely is this game.
It looks like Capitard, he's going to start building into the Aghanims. He has a point booster in his inventory for his Timbersaw.
Yeah, an Aghanim Scepter very good on Timbersaw, gives him that other chakram, and it allows him to clear creeps even faster and do quite a bit of damage in team fights.
All right, so the Zeus has the Veil Discord on him right now. Is he a good Veil user in this game?
Yeah, most definitely. Veil has gotten a couple of buffs to it, or probably just one buff to it in the last patch, with the double null talisman being used to build it up now instead of what it used to be. And I think it's slightly cheaper, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, it has definitely helped heroes like Skywrath Mage or Zeus. Just going for this Veil does so much for your team damage, and when all of your team damage is magic, it's extremely potent.
Now, what does the Leshrac go into next? He has his Bloodstone. He has his Arcane Boots. Should he be going for something?
The Zeus is getting an Ags.
So he is.
The Leshrac.
Oh, he's getting it for the Leshrac?
No, are you saying like the item for the Leshrac or?
No, what's the next item for Leshrac to get? Is what I was asking.
I would still think that he's going to go for an Octarine. Like, he wants to be a lot more tanky. Meanwhile, we could have a fight on top. Lightning will hit onto the Crystal Maiden. A short Timber Chain for the Timbersaw. He's going to miss everything onto the Crystal Maiden. Lena's inside the trees. They're trying to take her out. They're going to cut a couple of those trees, and Lena's going to get hit by that Diabolic Edict of the Leshrac, and they're going to completely take her out. Meanwhile, Falma's also going to get hit by this Echo Stomp. Lena does end up going down. Falma's just going to sit there with the Shadow Amulet. Not sure if they know about it just yet, but while this is all happening, look at this. There's a push on bottom. It's going to force out a TP from the Timbersaw. He can pretty easily clear it out.
Dire's top tower is being attacked. Dire's top tower
Echo Stomp by the Outer Titan does hit on Medusa. Now Medusa uses the Manta style. Now she's got the Stone Gaze. I was a little bit worried she wouldn't have enough mana for that one, but she will end up having it. And Outer Titan taking a lot of damage from this one. One more stop, not even going to be able to get it off. He is going to go down, and now Timbersaw trying to still do all the damage here. He's running low on mana. Leshrac does end up taking out the Crystal Maiden on the top lane, and the Lion's going to get thrown up and thrown down back into the fountain. Double kill for Tiny, and Timbersaul's just left with absolutely nothing. Zeus will end up taking the Tiny, though, with the usage of his Veil of Discord and the ultimate.
I'm not really... So, okay. Who do you think is going to come out on top of this engagement? Because it seems like every time that Crafty Bastards goes in for these fights, you know, for Enigma, they just always find these responses to these fights. I don't know if it's because of the prolonged chases or if they're just not getting their attacks down right, but I mean, this game has been pretty even so far. I'm not really sure who's going to actually come out on top.
Yeah, the game has been very even. We've had a big square drawn on the map by the Timbersaw. I mean, I'm all about those squares, man. But
Tactical square.
The tactical square, very nice. We have a name for it now. We made that. We're gonna trademark that. In any case, yeah, these definitely spread out fights and prolonged fights definitely help 4Nigmas. I mean, if all of Crafty Bastards were with their Medusa, they could easily take a lot of fights, because I don't think that the damage right now for the Radiant is even close to enough, and that's very scary for them with in like a 5v5 engagement, because I mean the Zeus is doing a lot, but it's only going to decrease as you get later into the match, and Tiny's made his way over to that mid lane. He's going to get his blink disabled by the Zeus. He possibly could have gotten a kill there, though.
I just took a quick peek at the charts, and you know, for Enigma, they're slowly making their way back. The trend definitely going towards their direction. Though Crafty Bastards still have a slight lead.
Medusa is going back for a Lincoln Sphere after getting the Manta style. Usually you would get a Lincoln's first on Medusa, but she's gone for the damage first. Now she's just decided that she needs the Lincolns. Her Spirit could find someone out here.
Lina.
Be the candidate. There's going to be a Yule Scepter up onto the Elder Titan. And now the Lion has found the Lina. Lina in the middle of a lot, but look at that surprise! Here's the rest of the team rolling by the Earth Spirit, and they're going to quickly take care of the Elder Titan as well as the Lion. Now the Timbersaw trying to get out of this one, but he's doing so much damage to the Chakrams. He's doing all the damage here. There's a Whirling Death completely taking care of the Dire side, and look at that, Medusa down 70 seconds on the sideline. Only one getting away is the Tiny. I would call him the big man, but that's kind of...
You know, for a very good moment, it looks like Crafty Bastards are going to get up on that fight, taking out the Lion and the other Titan pretty fast with that turnaround, but the Timbersaw, he's just doing so much damage, especially with the double chakrams now.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to stand in that double chakram. I mean, there is a reason it's an Aghanim Scepter upgrade for him, and it is going to do a lot of damage to you. Just take a look. He's waiting for this creep wave. Wait until it gets to him and see how quickly it gets cleared out. Look, 2 chakrams, and the creeps are basically gone. Now the Diabolical comes through. The Leshak needs to go a little bit closer to the tower for it to actually affect it. And that's going to be another Fortify getting used. It was automatically refreshed after that Tier 1 tower getting taken down. But this is going to be a pretty easy Tier 2 tower going the way of the Radiant. And well, for Enigmas, they've had a rocky road this time, but actually, I would like some ice cream right now.
Yeah, it's definitely swinging back to 4Nigma's favor here. I mean, what do Crafty Bastards have to do in this case? Like, they definitely have the initiation, but they just seem to just ignore whenever the Timbersaw comes around.
Yeah, just ignoring the Timbersaw is definitely not the way to go about it. I mean, you saw in the last one, they had 2 heroes basically standing in a chakram, and it slows you, it damages you, and it makes you feel like you want to go pee. It doesn't necessarily do that, but it doesn't make you feel good. So they really need to just work around that a little bit better, or get BKBs like we talked about earlier.
I mean, it reminded me of that fight that happened earlier on that ramp, like earlier in the game, where they were chasing for the kill. They got the kill, but the turnaround was just so fierce against them. And I think time and time again, Crafty Bastards, they just seem to hold out these engagements for so long that they're not really watching out for their own health. Especially
with when you have the possibility of a Veil going down on you. I mean, it just seems like the same record every single time. 4Nigmas are basically all magic damage. And what kind of defense do we see on the side of the Dire in terms of going against magic damage? Literally nothing. They do nothing against magic damage. They don't even have a cloak.
Are any of them building BKBs?
None of them are building BKBs right now, except the Tiny. Tiny's very close to it. But they have no pipe, they have no cloak, they don't even have a glimmer cape. That's a bit of a misplay, I would say. I mean, basically, if you get any kind of magic resistance, it basically stops the Radiant side from doing virtually any damage. Roshan is going to get scouted out by the Medusa. They're going to take care of these Ancients, and we'll see if they decide to go onto the Roshan at all. There is going to be the Echo Stomp used by the other Titan, rather. And here comes the Medusa right up to the high ground. She's sort of got her team behind her. The Tiny's making his way, but the important thing is that they've split up this fight. Here comes the ultimate from the other Titan, doing all of the damage to the Dire and actually wrecks the Crystal Maiden. They are all going down to this massive magic damage of the Radiant side. Leshak getting a triple kill, and we'll see if he's able to get this last one here onto the Lina to complete the full 5-man team wipe. Timbersaw trying to chase it down, but this Lina is so fast with that Fiery Soul passive that she gets him. He's trying to get the chakrams, but he's not quite going to get it. Well, Lina might make it back to the base, and indeed she will, but the 4 of her team members do not.
And you just have to respect the amount of damage that the Radiant has right now. I mean, you have the Leshrac, you have the Timbersaw, you have the Outer Titan. He just pulled off a huge Earth Split. And the Zeus is just throwing down his veil whenever he can. This is looking very dire for the Dire team right now.
Okay, you get one of those. If you make it again, you'd never come back. Seriously, every time you say that, chat will crucify you. So you do it once and then it's over.
Well, in any case, this mid tower doesn't seem like it's going to last very long. Although they don't really have a creep wave. Probably going to just get pushed back here for now.
Leshrac decided to go for the BKB instead of going for an Octarine Core, and it's a pretty good choice for him. It allows him to not really worry about the Crystal Maiden so much, but the thing is, the Stone Gaze still goes through the BKB. So if you find yourself in the wrong position when you're using it, or you use it at the wrong time, things are still going to be pretty bad for you.
Crystal Maiden?
Out. She's going on an adventure here. Now she's going to use the Shadow Amulet to the high ground. She's going into hiding. That's one of her voice lines. Just sitting there.
She's the moving ward for her team, essentially.
I mean, it's not a very good ward. I mean, look at the vision that it gives her team. Literally the ramp.
Well, it's something.
What have we here?
Oh, nope, they found her.
Yeah, for all that work, the Crystal Maiden is going to stand right underneath the Sentry where she's probably going to get out, but she's not going to get the chance as a Timbersaw. He's going to throw a bunch of salves at her face. So the Crystal Maiden feeds over a kill, but it was quite the merry chase that she let the other team on. Lina going for a little bit more of a carry build. She is building towards a BKB, so her team has finally figured out that BKBs are good.
They're finally getting some defense items, though maybe a little bit too late. Lion picked up his Blink Dagger.
I don't really think it's too late at all, because like we've said, the Radiant side is basically all magic damage, and that really tends to fall off towards the late game. Especially when you have BKBs, Pipe of Insight, Glimmer Caves all around. Like, that's what you would be seeing in a normal game. And the reason that 4Enigmas are still in this is because Crafty Bastards, they just haven't gone for that at all.
So what's next for the Crafty Bastards then? Like, what's their next critical item or objective that they want to get?
So most of them are going for, like, some of those survivability items. I think once they've gotten those, they can really start to look more towards the damage and just absolutely dominating these fights. If they can get those BKBs off, there's absolutely nothing 4Enigmas can do against them.
Are they looking for the pickoffs, or do they want to go for the team fights in this case then?
They just want to get farmed. I mean, if you have a Medusa on your team, pretty much every single time, you're going to win the late game. There are a few situations where that's not true, but most of the time that is what happens. Zeus has also finished up the refresh orb, has the recipe in his stash. So that's going to be a little bit more damage coming out from him, but if you get the BKBs off, it really does nothing. And it's not even a disable that the Zeus ult is. It's just literally doing damage. Timbersaul's going to use the Scythe of Ice for the first time, and this Lina, she's popped the, she's got the Fiery Soul going, and she's moving away very fast. Her move speed not decreased by the Scythe anymore, which was changed quite a while ago. And I'm just waiting to see who's going to take a Roshan, because I think that's going to be the next big thing in this match.
And Ginger Nips here, the Earth Spirit, he's just hanging around this pit, just trying to scout it out. He has a rock in there just in case.
To the impurities.
The rocks don't actually give vision, but yeah,
they don't give
he's
vision,
got that
but
rock available.
It's in there just in case. I mean, it's not going to give vision, but it's something.
Boots of Travel also finished off on the Timbersaw, so he's still doing pretty well on the farm. Definitely deserving his place at the top of the net worth right now. And the Medusa's duking out with the Zeus, and I guess they may have been watching the stream or something, because now all of them are going for BKBs.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you don't want to accuse them of stream sniping, do you?
I mean, it's on 5-minute delay, so I can't really do anything about them watching. They're basically only getting build advice from me.
That BKB is coming out left and right for Crafty Bastards, but do you think that 4Nigmas have prepared for that eventuality?
No.
You don't think so?
I mean, basically, if you're 4Nigmas, you want to either kill before the BKBs get off, or just kite them until the BKBs are over. That's really all you can do with their lineup. I mean, their physical damage is... Let's see who he does the most damage on their team. It's pretty much a tie between the Zeus and the Leshrac. And the Timbersaw. I would say that the person that does the most physical damage is the Elder Titan, because of his spirit thing that he does.
I think the Leshrac is building towards Nocturne. He has the point booster. He got Mystic Staff.
Yeah, it definitely. It's going to make him a lot more tanky, too.
Looks like Crafty Bastards are grouping up here. Possibly going for the Roche?
Yeah, the Roshan is still the next big thing here. Both of the teams finding it very difficult to go for towers. And actually, they're going to smoke up here.
You see the pathway. They are going to try wrap around here towards the mid lane, looks like.
They're going to find the wraparound, and Leshrac is going to break the smoke. He's going to get absolutely wrecked here. Big silence by the Earth Spirit. Now he's forced to use the BKB. Leshrac getting very low, but look at the damage that he's just done. He's going to heal completely back up with that Bloodstone. And the Timbersaw, actually, that was also the Timbersaw dying with the Bloodstone that helped the Leshrac heal up. Now on the backside, Medusa left all alone, and it's a man fight between a Goat Man and a Tiny. Stone Man goes down, so does the Goat Man, and now it's only the Medusa left here to just get absolutely wrecked here. Triple kill for the Leshrac.
Godlike.
He's godlike, and he's also going to respawn right now with that Bloodstone. Still at 16 charges.
I mean, they got the smoke up, but Crafty Bastards, he just didn't seem to have the damage.
The biggest thing there was the Timbersaw dying, which, when he has that Bloodstone, it heals up his team so much. Leshrac was about to go down, but he got healed up by that Bloodstone, and it just did so much to help his team.
And
or
now,
at least Leshrac.
Well, it was the Timbersaw that went down first, I believe.
Yeah, Timbersaw went down, and his Bloodstone allows him to heal the entire team in an AoE.
And that's another objective down for them. They're going to go for the Roche. Although it's going to be it's a pretty slow Roche.
Yeah, I mean, they are helped a little bit by the Elder Titan being there, but look how low he is. I mean, they basically need the Timbersaw to be tanking this, and the Elder Titan about to go down. The stone comes through. It's a little bit late, but I think it's just abort at this time for the rating, because they just got to get out.
Yeah, they don't have good Roche potential at all.
Nobody does, really. I mean, the Crafty Bastards maybe once they get the damage up, but it's just so hard for either team to go for it, and I don't think that either team is taking it this match. Take a little bit more of a look at the graphs, and it's going in favor of 4Nigmas at this point. I mean, it's still a very close match, but it's just very hard to tell where this match is going to go, because 4Nigmas, they're very mid-game to early impact team. Meanwhile, for Crafty Bastards, they're very late-game focused with the Medusa and the Tiny, but for some reason, their farm just isn't good enough to be able to give them a lasting impact in this match.
I believe the Elder Titan just picked up a Vlad's right now, so give him some more tankiness is their answer to these fights.
I'm literally just looking at illusions right now. BKB almost finished up by Ginger Nip. Still one of the most beautiful names in the history of Dota 2. The Spirit is going to come out, doing a little bit of damage and some scouting here for the teams. Timbersaw is very far forward, and the rest of his team, they're very close to the mid lane. He's got to be careful here. Even though he can survive for quite a bit, he definitely needs to be able to hold out a little bit for his team to show up.
All right, so based on the last fight we just saw, which was a disaster for Crafty Bastards, like, is there anything that Crafty Bastards can do to make a comeback in these fights? Like, I mean, they have the BKBs, but they just don't seem to be using them.
It's not really that they're not using them. It's more how these fights are turning out for them. So in a bunch of these fights, it's basically split up between a Timbersaw and a Lishrak. So there's kind of the dividing line. And then you have Medusa against 3 of the Radiant side on the one team. And then everybody against those 2, the Lishrak and the Timbersaw on the other side. And it's just working that way for them. The Tiny isn't good enough, or doesn't have enough farm to be able to take out those heroes well enough. And the Medusa isn't good enough to take out the other side. So, I mean, Crafty Bastards, that's really how they end up finding themselves on the backside of all these fights. They're just out of position.
The Tiny has picked up a Moon Shard.
Double Chakram on the fan, basically down to half health from that. And there's going to be a Blade Mill popped by the Timbersaw. Radiant waiting in the wings here. This Medusa is very tanky, has picked another ball up. And Lena's just trying to clear out top.
So this Moon Shard on Tiny, do you have any explanation for that? Because I thought Moon Shard was like the last thing you get.
Oh no, I mean, attack speed is very good on Tiny. It's one of the things that decreases when you level up Row. So,
but it's just sitting in his inventory right now.
Yeah, I mean, what else would you put there?
I mean, wouldn't it be better for him to get like another item instead?
I mean, you could get an Echo Saber, but I mean, that doesn't give you attack speed really. And the Tiny, if he can hit faster, he can do more damage, right? So the Moon Shard is actually a pretty common pickup on Tiny. It also gives you a little bit more vision at night. So getting picked off is one of the problems for the Radiant, and you know that's going to help him get picked off less. Now we're having a bit of a Mexican standoff here in the mid lane. Creeps are getting quickly cleared out by the Radiant. Earth Spirit trying to look for an opening here. So is the Timbersaw. He's going to clear out the trees, and Earth Spirit is just going to roll away. Crystal Maiden still ready for the ultimate here. She is just, with the Shadow Amulet in the tree, she is so ready to get in on this fight. And with the tier 2 tower down in the mid lane, she might be a little bit out of position. I mean, she's very far behind the creep wave right now. And we'll see if the Radiant decide that they want to go high ground. The Dire have retreated to their base.
Hey, it seems like 4Nigmas are just content with just waiting for Crafty Bastards to make the first move.
So I would say that if you're 4Nigmas at this point, you would just keep the mid lane pushed out, and then make sure that your other lanes are pushing in. With the top tier 2 tower getting pushed by the creeps, I mean, you really have to be careful that you don't let the lane go too far, because there's a lot of damage that the Dire could be doing to your towers with the Tiny and the Medusa if you let them get there.
Well, just a bit of a pause right now, waiting for Timbersaw to come back into the action right now.
So the thing with these games is sometimes it gets very, very long, and you have to wait a long time for the teams to just make the decisive move that they need to make. And some of that's because the players don't really farm as well sometimes, and some of that's because they just don't have the game sense to be able to say, okay, we have the advantage here, we can go in now. I can't really say the number of times that I've seen teams just, they have a huge advantage, but they're not able to capitalize on it. At this point, there's not really a huge advantage for the teams, but Crafty Bastards, they definitely should have the upper hand here. With the way that the lineups are and their itemization now, they should be taking fights. It's just how they decide to take them that's really making the difference here.
Alright, here we go. Finally back. My Ginger Nips admiring the Outer Titan right now.
So we're going to get started with that. And Elder Titan's just going to hang out here on the high ground pretty much all by his lonesome. And here comes Medusa. She's going to find the Elder Titan. And I don't think he's back. I think he might be AFK. AFK.
Oh, the Elder Titan's AFK. Just waiting on Def to make a return here. Anyways, looks like we're going to have a big fight in our hands right now.
There's going to be an Echo Stomp, but it's going to get canceled by that silence, and they're going to absolutely wreck the Elder Titan. Meanwhile, on the backside, Medusa, she's manned up, got the BKB going, and the Zeus, he is almost down. He's going to get the Magnetize on him by the Earth Spirit, and here comes Lishrak. There's going to be a BKB popped by the Earth Spirit. Silence goes on to Lishrak, and Lishrak still trying to make his way out of this one. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Timbersaw, he's getting gone on by 3. It's a Tiny, turned into a pig. He's going to deny himself because Selena was very scary. And now Lion, he's going to get stunned up by the Earth Spirit. And we were just talking about how the Courteous Bastards, or whatever the frick their name is, they really should have had the advantage in these fights, and they just get the right one here, and possibly a little bit suspect with the Elder Titan being AFK or whatever. Maybe it was a ploy. But in any case, it's a big push in from Crafty Bastards, and only the Zeus has buyback right now. Lion and Timbersaw respawning in 30 seconds. Here comes a push down the mid lane. Lishrak's here to kind of spam the waves out. They really need this Timbersaw for this defense. Nice Echo Stomp is going to be there from the Elder Titan, and the Titan's just going to walk right up to the tower. Everyone was sleeping for a while, but now all their creeps are getting taken. Medusa just going right onto this tower. Tiny, for some reason, getting a little bit scared. And there's going to be another stomp in by the Elder Titan. The Tiny probably just wants to finish off this tower. Blinks up, takes it out. Now the switch track. He's in the middle of everything. He's popped the BKP. He's got the Pulse Novas going. He's going to miss the split Earth. And now here comes the Timbersaw back into the game. BKB was canceled by, or taken out by the Medusa. Now here comes a stomp. Stomp is not going to hit onto anything, and this might be a straight up retreat from the Dire. Timbersaw trying to chase. He will not be finding a whole lot. Crystal Maiden already down, and the Timbersaw goes the wrong way. He decides that there are bigger fish to fry, and by fish he means the creeps.
And Tier 3 taken down first by the Crafty Bastards. They finally make their good fight here, and they're looking for more. The Lion unfortunately finds himself stuck out here, and he's going to be taken out.
At least the Lena went down.
Yep, he was trying to look for some kills in the back lane there. Ooh.
Scotty was finished up on the Medusa, though.
Ah, that's good. More. Give her some tankiness, give her a lot of nice things. And the Earth Spirit pick up the Aether Lens. Here we go.
Okay, so 54 minutes, 41-39. Another one of those close matches in the Learn Dota 2 League. We are going for the long haul in this one, and definitely, I would say that Crafty Bastards with their lineup should have the advantage, but in this kind of league, you never know what's actually going to happen.
I'm just wondering, like, if either team like has a lineup to finish things off for now. I mean, Zeus. I mean, high ground defense. You have the Zeus and the Timbersaw to fend things off. But what about for the Dire side? Like, how is their high ground defense if it ever comes to that case?
I mean, they have an Earth Spirit. They have a Tiny. Those are some pretty good heroes of spamming out waves, as well as Alina. They definitely have ways to defend the base, and that's kind of the problem here. Both teams are very good at defending it. And we just haven't been able to make it to those tier 3s just yet. Dire are grouping up here, led by the Earth Spirit. They're going to rotate over towards that mid lane. Leshrac is pretty far up, but this is probably not the guy you want to go on. Medusa, she's gone up here. Oh, that might be a bait, but no, they're just going to back up. So the team's both very scared to engage each other now. And the Medusa not going to quite find the rune at 56 minutes. She was a little bit early. Okay, a couple sisters saying hi to each other inside the jungle. In terms of buybacks, only 3 are up right now. That's a pretty big mistake. Only the Zeus, the Timbersaw, and the Medusa. I would say that Leshrac is a pseudo buyback because his Bloodstone is up to 16 charges. So he doesn't really have to worry about the respawn time as much. With that being said, though, we might see our first Roshan of the game. 56 minutes, the Dire have made their way into the pit, and they've got a double damage Medusa and the Tiny ready to take out the big guy.
I don't think Radiant even know what's going on. I don't think they have any ward out here to ping this out. The Dire's got a nice sentry ward here just in case they try to go for smoke.
So this is going to be an Aegis on a Medusa. They do use the Zeus ultimate to scout and also take out the Crystal Medine. But here are all the Dire. They've got an Aegis. They don't have a Crystal Maiden. BKB is going to get popped by the Lean, and she's just going to stand there for a couple of seconds. Now Timbersaw, he's almost down. If he dies, he could heal up his team. Line has already died, and there's the Leshrac doing as much damage as possible. He's doing right onto BKBs. Those BKBs need to expire. There's going to be a throw in by the Tiny onto Leshrac. Leshrac, he's at half health. He's going to get the splitters, but here is the Elder Titan ready to help him out, and he will take out the Tiny and the Earth Spirit with the help of the Elder Titan. And now here comes the Medusa. She's trying to run away. It's the same story once again. Medusa split off from her team. Medusa, no help at all. She's got the Aegis. It's going to get popped right now, but this Echo Stomp is ready, and it should be frame perfect. There it is. They get the stomp on the Medusa, and she is stuck there. She is getting down to half health. She is almost down. Raid boss trying to get away. Not going to happen. That's a full 5-man team wipe.
Oh boy. I mean, it's just really, that's the second time where a fight that probably should have gone in favor of Crafty Bastard, they just immediately dropped it. They went out, they split up their forces again, and Leshrac just took advantage of that, taking out both the Earth Spirit and the Tiny, who were also very low at the time.
BKB
and now they're just sieging high ground.
Leshrac, and the Split Earth is going to miss, as does the Stomp. Buyback on the Medusa is going to stay alive a bit longer. I think at this point the Radiant just really need to focus on these racks. Oh, Crystal Maiden almost going down, and that last Leshrac last hit will take her down. Rack's almost about to fall. Earth Spirit back in 10 seconds. Lena's back in 2. 14 on the Tiny. They're going to take care of the range, or melee racks, and they're going to go right for the range. Oh, Medusa turned into a big. If they take this kill, it'll be pretty big. She's going to pop that Stone Gaze, and it's going to give her enough time. Pop that BKB as well to get away. Oh, man. Lina, for some reason, used the Laguna Blade onto the Stone Gaze target, which actually doesn't do any damage. And now the Pony Man, he's going to get silenced. There's also going to be a silence on the Timbersaw. Oh no, Leshrac, he's psyched up, taking a lot of damage from the Lina. Ginger Nips, he's about to go down. He will end up falling, as is Leshrac, and he's going to heal up the Elder Titan. Now here comes the Zeus in from the backside, doing all the damage to the Lina. Lina about to go down, but she's going to go into a man fight with the Zeus. Zeus is basically out of mana, and it doesn't even matter because she's used the BKB, uses the Dragon Slave onto the Zeus, and then we'll get a double kill there. Only the racks have gone down, and they pay dearly for going on the Medusa there. She also is going to get that buyback penalty off of her right now, so she didn't even go down for them going on to her there.
I mean, even with that fight, like, they're able to push them off the high ground, they still were able to take a lane of racks for themselves in the one go. So I think still definitely in favor of 4Nigmas right now.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying it, you really can't go onto a Medusa like that. I mean, they had the control, they really almost took her down, but when she has that stone gaze, it's just very difficult, especially with the rest of her team respawning. Either do that earlier or don't do it all, because you already took the Raxter, and that's really what you were going for in that lane. Crystal Maiden, the poor girl, 112 and 11, trying to do everything that she can to help her team. I think she's also trying to make a BKB just because the rest of her team did. She's really trying to fit in here.
Let's see. I mean, if Crowdy Bastards can they just need to find that one engagement, but that target, I'm not sure if it should be the Shrek. I mean, every time they try to see the Leshek, they always chase after him, and things just don't go right for them. There is a Timbersaw down on bottom lane that looks like they're making their way towards it. Capitar's just going to get out. Timber chain.
Very difficult to kill him.
No, but that doesn't matter. They want to go on him right now. Toss in the air. Rolling. They get the Hex. And Capitard, that Timbersaw is no more.
Well, he did commit suicide, so they don't even get the kill for it, and there was a double Zeus ultimate user, which did end up killing the Tiny, who was just trying to damage the Timbersaw a little bit too much through that blade mail. Lina steps up in that bottom lane, does need to be careful. Here comes the Leshak. Blue Pony Man, here he comes. He's going to find the Earth Spirit, going to use a Pulse, and he's going to get kicked away by the Earth Spirit, and there's going to be a BKB used by the Lina coming in from the backside. Hex was also used onto the Earth Spirit. He's going to use the BKB now, and there's going to be a nice freezing field. Ends up cleaning up the line. He was standing right in the middle of it. Nice laser right onto a couple of heroes, and well, it looks like the Dire Mates need to get out. They're licking their wounds, and the Lina is going to go down. The Crystal Maiden continues to just stand there, and the Lightning Bolt just going to miss onto the Earth Spirit. He's going to be able to TP away, and the Medusa very far up. But she might be able to do something here. She's got the Stone Gaze down for 35 more seconds. Stomp will hit onto her. And now there's going to be the Split Earth. They're going to do all the damage to the Medusa, who BKB is trying to get away. And all of their magic damage is absolutely nothing here. She does end up getting underneath the safety of her own tower.
I've just noticed that.
More creeps.
I've just noticed that Lina has a Bloodthorn.
Indeed she does. That was a pretty recent pickup for her. Another Stomp is going to go on to 2 by the Elder Titan, just being ridiculous here with all the stunts. They're trying to get the tier 3. Big stun onto the Zeus, and here comes the Timbersaw. This crazy man is coming for all your base, and he's going to help take out this tier 3 tower. Leshak just sitting there with the Pulse Nova. He's going to put the Diabolic Edict onto those racks, doing a massive amount of damage so quickly. And here comes the Tiny. He's used the BKB. He's going to get the silence onto the Elder Titan, but the kick is going to go away from the Leshak. Earth Spirit gets absolutely wrecked here. He's going to fall straight to the ground, and now Medusa pops that Stone Gaze. Stomp is going to get used. It doesn't really hit on to much. And the Elder Titan trying to make his way out of this one. BKB is going to be popped by the Medusa. Tiny, he's going to get smacked apart by the Saw Blades. And now Medusa, she needs to get out. She doesn't have buyback. Tiny's back, though. He did have buyback. Going to throw Zeus up into the sky. Will end up taking him out. And now the Tiny, it's him against the Radiant. It's not going to be enough. Leshak will take him out, and they can take down the set of racks if they want, or they can go right for those tier 4s and the base. 112 seconds on the sidelines for the Tiny, and now here comes Lina. She is not one to be trifled with in terms of damage. Going to get the Laguna Blade onto the Leshak. Leshak will immediately buy back, and now Medusa trying to make her way out. There's going to be a big figure of death onto Lina. Lina trying to do all the physical damage to the line, but it's not going to be enough, because that big blue pony man going to smack her around and take her out. Now it's only the Medusa, one against the world, and it's not enough. They call it, they throw in the towel, and I hope it's not fake this time. In any case, Medusa gets turned into a frog, and a disconnect. It's going to be the legacy.
Disconnected. I don't know if he disconnected a little bit too early, or if it was on accident. Whoops. I mean, but yeah, this game.
There's going to be a stun on the Medusa, and I don't know why they're pausing.
GG. Someone activate the. Are we just gonna slowly wait for it?
In any case, the Ancient is going to fall, and that's going to be at 4Enigmas. I know the overlay says differently, but they did win game number 1.
It's 2-0 going for 4Enigmas right now.
Yeah, they got a 2-0, and they're going to come up with both victories of this best of 2 set. Very well played and a tough match. 1 hour, 4 minutes. And I definitely have to say that I need a nap.
I think it's well deserved after that fight. I mean, the late BKBs coming out from Dire just came out too late, and most of the fights went advantage of 4Enigmas.
One thing that I have to say is that when you take a look at 4Enigma's lineup, it was really heavily Magic focused. So one thing, don't pick that. Even though it won, please don't do that, because it's so easy for the other team just to do well against it. And if the Dire had done a little bit better in these fights, not splitting up or getting their Magic resistance early, I mean, you would have seen these fights turn a lot different for 4Enigmas, because basically they were no physical damage. That was their lineup, and that's possibly why the game went as long as it did, because they really had no way to take those towers down early. So there's a couple tips there. Make sure that you get the Magic resistance for teams like that, because it is absolutely necessary. With that being said, though, that's going to do it for this best of 2 set. I definitely need a break. I need to go do something with myself other than look at Dota for a while. So thank you all for watching. Once again, thank you, Best Teammaker, for hanging in there and helping us with this cast. We all really appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much.
And make sure that you follow the stream to know that when we're going online, as well as on Twitter at Pithing Lagoon, just so that you know what's going on. And thank you all for watching. And as always, cheers.